Seattle right now is a team that currently doesn't do a lot well. They have a great running back but can't run the ball. They have a defensive head coach but can't really stop many teams. And they have a veteran quarterback, Geno Smith, who makes rookie quarterback mistakes. San Francisco does a lot of things very, very well, but they are judged differently. They scored 36 points last night. I walk into the staff meeting this morning. It's like, well, I mean, Debo blew. Yeah, there's a blown coverage. Or, I mean, a fourth quarter pick by Geno got him off the hook. Well, let's be honest. They have a higher standard than almost everybody in the league, not named the Kansas City Chiefs, and you can feel that pressure weekly on Kyle Shanahan and on Brock Purdy and on Bosa. You can feel the pressure with San Francisco because unlike the Chiefs, they're the great team in the league the last 5 years. They're the only one that doesn't have a trophy. Don't call Buffalo great, maybe Baltimore, but there's a pressure when you are great and you can't win the major on the tennis or the golf circuit. So they hold themselves to high standards. There are a lot of things they do well. Because Kyle Shanahan may be the top scheme guy in the league, once again, they got a big first-half lead. If you lead in the NFL in the first quarter, you win 60% of your games. And San Francisco almost always leads games and almost always is playing downhill. That's a big advantage when you have a Bosa on the defensive line pursuing your quarterback. They also, San Francisco, scores uniquely. Most teams in the league don't. Last night, a fullback has a touchdown. Last week, they blocked the kick for a touchdown. They score uniquely. They also take the ball away. 2 picks last night, a fumble recovery, 3 turnovers, should have had 4, got butchered by the referees. So they're top 3 in the league in taking the ball away. That's what championship teams do. They also lead the NFL in time of possession. How are you going to beat a Lamar Jackson? How are you going to beat a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen or a Jared Goff? Have them sit on the bench and watch the game. But it does feel when San Francisco wins, and I felt this last night, it's a little unsatisfying. They are the great team in the league. Maybe Baltimore is the other that doesn't have a trophy because Kansas City and Mahomes and Reed are hogging all of them. And so even when they win, it's Geno Smith. Well, Seahawks blew a coverage. They went on the road against the team. I believe Seattle was called the dark horse team in the league by a lot of people, not me, but a lot of people before the season. They scored 36 points without Christian McCaffrey in one of the toughest NFL environments. Well, Colin, the red zone offense of the Niners. Well, when Christian McCaffrey returns, my guess, that will improve. It was number 1 last year. It will return to an elite red zone offense. Well, Colin, Brock Purdy is just okay. Well, I watched last night. He's better than Geno Smith, and Geno Smith has made back-to-back Pro Bowls. So the Niners win. They win comfortably on the road. They create turnovers. They dominate time of possession, and it feels unsatisfying. But my takeaway is this is how Kansas City wins every week. Wouldn't Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, and the Bengals just be satisfied with a W? You go on the road. You win games. I want to hear about blown coverages. I don't want to hear about Geno Smith. Geno Smith is a very accurate thrower of the football. You know what he is against the Niners? 0-5, and not that accurate, and throws a lot of picks. So because San Francisco is held, Baltimore similarly, to a standard, because we think, well, Kansas City's a great team, but they have trophies. Niners and Ravens are the one we're like, where are the trophies? I think they're coming, especially for Baltimore. Here's Brock Purdy after.
For us, our standard is high here. And so I think a lot of us would go to, all right, like we could have done this or that and be better here. But I think at the end of the day, man, it's a team sport. And so to go 4 quarters with all these different kinds of emotions and parts of the game and to be able to rally together and defense get a turnover and then us score a touchdown at the end. And it's just that's team football.
All right, the Yankees.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Yankees. Who cares? Okay, listen. First off, Colin says, yeah, Purdy's just average or okay or whatever. And it's like, and he's like, well, no, Purdy's better than Mahomes or Purdy's better than Geno. And it's like, Colin just had a clip yesterday or 2 days ago where he's literally like, you know, Brock Purdy's just a dude, which I then, you know, unpacked and all of that. So I'm getting whiplash from all these takes. And then we're saying when the Lions beat beat the Seattle Seahawks, there was a parade, right? Everybody was like, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable! Jared Goff went perfect, trick plays. This is unbelievable. Confetti falling from the sky, right? Like they're acting like they just won the Super Bowl." And now when the 49ers beat the Seahawks, it's like, yeah, well, and it's like, wait, what? How could we not be? How could we be so inconsistent? And to be fair for Colin specifically, Colin did not have a parade when the Lions beat the Seahawks. Like he kind of poked at the Lions a little bit, and Lions fans did not like that. Because it was my read on that game as well. But I'm consistent, and so I'll say this. Because I defended Purdy this whole week, honestly, and the 49ers this whole week. But I'm not gonna. But again, I'm gonna be very consistent. This isn't some big, massive win to me. One, this is who I think the 49ers are. Number one, I think they're a really good team. I think they're a top team in the NFL. I think Purdy is a great quarterback and is playing awesome and is not the reason why they've lost some of the games that they've lost this season. And I think also the Seahawks aren't that great of a team. One, they're injured right now. And two, I'm not so sure they were ever really that good to begin with. People were so obsessed. I think they started 3-0, and now they've lost the last 3 games in a row. Losing to the Giants, losing to the Lions, now losing to the 49ers. And I questioned, because I even had earlier videos where I think it was on the Herd Hierarchy actually, where he put Seattle up there, and I was like, listen, I'll be honest, I really don't have strong feelings on Seattle. I'm a little suspicious. Like I said that, and then of course now they lost. And you can blame the injuries, or you can blame just the fact that maybe they weren't ever that good. But again, it's irrelevant to me because this was a very smooth, solid game start to finish. For me, I always, before this game even started, I even said the 49ers don't even need to win this game. I just need to see them play really great football, right? If they end up losing by like a field goal in the last, minute, 30 seconds or whatever it is, like I'm okay with that, but I just need to see a higher quality of play from the 49ers more than anything. And that's exactly what we got. And they got the win, of course. And the win should have been even more than that. Purdy played great. I mean, when you look at this throw that he made, see if I can get it. Yeah, right. This throw right here is just no. It's gonna be. Wait. Where is it? It's his touchdown throw to Kittle. This throw right here, guys, is so remarkable. The hand in his face to the outside like that. I mean, like that is an elite throw. There's no other way around it. That is an elite throw right there. That is not some easy basic throw here. That is an elite throw. So, the constant debating of whether or not Brock Purdy is just a dude or a great guy is just getting so tired right now, because he threw for 275. Well, he had 275 total yards and 3 touchdowns, and yet he'll get like no praise for that, right? Because they'll say, oh, Seattle, this, that, and the third. And yet, when they lose a game and he still puts up really good numbers, but he has like a turnover, they say, well, Brock Purdy's the problem, they lost. Right? And like that is what the issue is right now. If you're going to have this whole week, because this whole week there's been clips on all the shows. Brock Purdy's is just average. Brock Purdy's not that good. Brock Purdy's the problem. Brock Purdy. And then he wins, and it's just like, yeah, the 49ers looked pretty good. Geno Smith's not a good quarterback, and the Seahawks are injured. That's the problem here. That's the imbalance. And I'll talk about that more with First Things First, because they had a whole thing about, like, what would a lose mean for Brock Purdy? And they were like, oh, it would be devastating. He's a bad quarterback. He's awful. And I ripped that apart. And it's like, now that he wins, now that he plays a near flawless game, it's like, well, then give him the praise. Like, it's like you can't just explain it away. But the 49ers are a really, really good team. I don't know if there's, at this point right now, week 6, I'm not so sure there's any great or elite team right now in the NFL. It's hard to say, because a couple of the teams that maybe look like they could be great or elite, they got off to weird starts. So it's like, well, I don't know. Does that mean they're inconsistent? Does that mean it just took them a minute or two to get going? You know, you could look at the Ravens, right? It's hard to forget some of the losses that they had, especially versus the Raiders. We're like, was that just a one-off? Was that just a weird game? Or do they have that in them, right? Same thing with the Chiefs. Like they are winning in not, as Colin even said, in not a great way. And, they have many ugly wins. And it's like, okay, well, like, is that the way how they're just going to be all season? Is that sustainable? Yes or no? 49ers, are they a great team, but they just had a couple weird bad losses? They blew some leads. Like, it's hard for me at this point to really figure out how great a team is so far. So I'm more confident saying that these teams are good, right? I think the Chiefs are good. I think the Ravens are good. I think the 49ers are good. I think you could say that you think the Minnesota Vikings are great, but you could understand the idea of like, well, is this 100% sustainable? They had a couple closer wins than you would have maybe have liked, or they almost blew a couple wins. And so it's like, they didn't put them away when they could have. Again, it's a tricky thing to try to figure out just yet. Which is why I'm just at this point, I'm just more confident saying all of these teams are good. And that's why I put the 49ers all in this same basket of teams, of the top teams in the NFL, where it's just like I keep saying, to me, this season more than ever is just the definition of any given Sunday, where it's just like 49ers are going to play the Chiefs, and I'm really excited for that game. And it's just like, who's going to win that game? And it's like, I don't know, man. We'll have to see. Like, there's just no confidence from my viewpoint for any of these games. 49ers played the Texans. Who's going to win this game? I don't know. Is CJ Stroud going to throw for 380 yards? Is Brock Purdy going to, ball out for 350, 3 touchdowns? Or is he going to have an interception and a fumble? CJ Stroud going to have an interception and a fumble? It's like, I don't know. I have no idea. It's just too difficult. The Bills played the Chiefs. Who wins that game? I don't know. Maybe the Chiefs. I mean, the Bills didn't look great against the Ravens, and then they didn't look too hot against the Texans, but they blew out, a couple other teams. So it's a messy landscape from where I'm sitting personally, but I'm just very confident in saying that the 49ers, people were trying to act like the 49ers were drowning, that they were not this good of a team, that they're average, that they have some injuries, and they can only win with Christian McCaffrey, and that Brock Purdy's not really that good of a quarterback, or that Shanahan is a bad coach, and this or that. Like, everybody was burying them, right? It was like, not that good, not that good. Nah, they're this, they're that. It was just, they weren't getting the benefit of the doubt, which is bizarre to me because we have a couple other teams that have historically been great who get the benefit. The Bengals are getting more of the benefit of the doubt. Even when the Ravens were on their losing streak, their 0-2 loss, they were getting the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, these other teams were getting the benefit of the doubt. Even the Bills right now. The Bills had 2 really bad losses, and yet Colin still put them on his herd hierarchy, his top 10. Whereas the 49ers, I don't think, are on it at all, right? So it's like they got the benefit of the doubt. Certain teams get the benefit of the doubt, whereas the 49ers are not. Jordan Love and the Packers haven't looked great so far since Jordan Love has returned, and yet they got the benefit of the doubt. Again, 49ers, not the benefit of the doubt. So that's just where I kind of stand with all of that, is why do the 49ers not get the benefit of the doubt for any of their just bad moments, blown leads, blown games, dropping the ball? Why is there no benefit of the doubt? Like, Colin put the 49ers, he put the Cowboys in front of the 49ers. There's no way that I'm looking at the 49ers, how they play, their quarterback, their coaching, their weapons, even their defense, and I'm going to say that the 49ers are inferior to the Dallas Cowboys. It just doesn't make sense. People will still say that the Steelers are better than the 49ers. And they're going to look at their record. I don't care what the record. I don't care. Their defense doesn't matter to me. The 49ers are clearly a better team. So it's just, I don't understand. It is weird. And to some degree, I get what Colin is saying in terms of the standard, but they still have other high standards for these other teams, like the teams that I just mentioned. And yet they get the benefit of the doubt. And to me, that's probably the biggest takeaway is why do the 49ers not get the benefit of the doubt? And like I have said in previous things, that they do, since they're such a popular team and since they've had the levels of success that they've had, that they do get a lot of extra criticism, which is just technically a good problem to have. It just means that your team is so popular and people want to talk about your team and it's so good, so they're trying to find reasons why not to like them. which is what I a lot of times do with the Chiefs. I'm not like, oh yeah, the Chiefs are the best team. They're great. Look, they keep winning, yada, yada. I'm like, yeah, they keep winning. They're great. And they are the Chiefs. But like, these wins look weird to me. These wins, are they sustainable? Like, what's going on here? Patrick Mahomes isn't playing great, yada, yada, yada. And if the expectations weren't so high, you just say, yeah, it's great. They're finding a way to win. They're finding a way to win. So, it's heavy as the head that wears the crown is probably the common theme with especially the Chiefs, but also the 49ers. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the 49ers win from last night versus the Seahawks? What was the biggest takeaway? How do you think Purdy and the rest played? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.